I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's episode 8 of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington. What's going on, everybody? I know you might either get this on the day you're supposed to get it or a day late, but damn it, I've been tired. If you follow me on social media, you know what all the hell I've been doing non-stop. You were lucky you got the episode last week on time because I love the shit out of y'all. But I appreciate y'all. There's a lot going on. It's not a lot of Marvel news, of course. It's a lot of DC stuff. I'm going to get into all that good shit. But let me go into my past week. What did I do? I did shows. Shouts out to Mark Ellis, man, for having me on his show at Mark Ellis and Friends at Los Globos in Silver Lake. The place was sold out. It was amazing. It was myself, Mark Ellis, Candace Thompson, John Roca, and T. The show was nice, hosted by Ken Knapsack and Josh McCougar. Fun times for everybody. I had a blast. Then we all hung out at the bar across the street at the Thirsty Crow and drank until we drank. And then I came home and luckily had no hangover because I learned how to deal with tequila. Then LA Comic Con.
Thing about tequila, don't give you a hangover.
Man, and it's a stimulant. And it's no weight gain. I'll introduce my guest that you just heard in a second. Also, I got to do LA Comic Con this weekend. It was fun. For the area to be so big, it was like the walkways were the worst thing ever conceived. It was really crowded, but it was so good to meet fans, catch up with a lot of old friends, and hang out with a lot of people I hadn't seen in a minute. Shouts out to Ryan Sands, Mark Bernardin, Shad Gaspar, JTG, Bill Duke, Damian Poitier, Hannibal Taboo, Lisa Marie Veron, you know, as Victoria. I saw so many people there and got to do so many great podcasts as well. I mean, so many panels and podcasts. Shouts out to Jonathan London for the Kaiju versus Giant Robots panel where I got to meet some amazing people. Then to do the Comics on Comics, Vito Lapicola. It was a fun time doing that. The By God Wrestling All-Star panel we had was at 1 p.m. on Sunday, which would have been a great thing if the other Wrestlers as Real Superheroes panel wasn't at 1 p.m. as well, which had John Morrison, a.k.a. Johnny Impact, Johnny Nitro, Marty the Moth, Taya Valkyrie, and Joey Ryan and his dick. So, yeah, we had to compete with Joey Ryan and his dick. You understand how much that hurts to say, why your panel didn't have a lot of people there? Well, Joey Ryan's dick got most of the people. But it was fun doing that. And then to do the Battle of the Green Lanterns, shout out to Jessica Singh for that one. It was a fun time. Also, before I forget, shout out to everybody that's checking this out on the Nerd Jabber Network. Most definitely appreciate you guys. Shout out to Nerd Jabber for having the Mad Titan Podcast be a part of it. I'm going to try to get a lot more things up there for you guys. I'll have the podcast every week. I'm going to try to get you snippets up there. I'm working on a photo pic I want to have with me with some things. It's going to be kind of interesting, and we'll see if we get it done. But let me introduce my special guest for this week. I almost had to do this alone, and I swear to God, I was going to give y'all a 15-minute thing of, this is what happened. I'm done. Goodbye. But I got a guest with me, and the guest is one of my homies, as always. Let me say this, too, before anybody goes any further. Yes, I know a lot of female nerds. Yes, I would love to have them all on here. Yes, they all work during the time I do this recording 9 times out of 10. So it's hard to get them on here. I've literally, even though I knew it was last minute, I was like, shit. Who do I reach out to? And I was like, well, she's working, she's busy. Fuck! So, luckily, my boy hit me up. He is a friend, a stand-up comedian, and commentator of Maverick Pro Wrestling, Mr. Alex Mandelberg. What it is, sir?
How you doing, man?
I'm very good. How you doing?
I'm doing. Here's an interesting thing that I heard when you were running down your Comic-Con thing, because I remembered your picture with you and your boys doing the
Wakanda salute.
Because, all right, I was recently talking with Sam Damaris, who's a fellow comedian friend of ours, he's a big metalhead. Mm-hmm. And he always says, I always felt alone as an African-American in the metal world, because there just wasn't much growing up in Texas. Mm. How much has that kind of shit changed? Because I felt like it was always the same in the nerd world, where
It was
a lot of my friends, who were African American, just were always like, I don't really talk about my nerd love and all that stuff.
We feared being ostracized about it, man. We would be blacklisted almost, like your geek ass, your corny ass.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't something we really would talk about. And then we just, many of us gravitated to one another, but the invention of social media changed a lot of that because you found groups of people who thought just like you and hung out and had the same fun as you and enjoyed the same things, and from all levels of nerdom, from comic books to anime, things like that. And so now it's sort of this blurred wave, which it seems to be hip for everybody to say they're a nerd. And I think for a lot of times, for the most part, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because every black dude and every black woman that say they a nerd ain't no goddamn nerd. All right, look, you might have just picked up, we're talking about people who've been nerds before being a nerd was cool.
Yeah.
Before Chris Hardwick did a whole set and made it be cool to be a nerd for anybody. Before this whole wave of Black Panther, Black Lightning, Luke Cage, even, when most people just knew Storm.
Yeah.
Most people just knew Storm. People might have known of the Black Panther, but the history and the lineages of these things, and even going in depth and knowing all the Spider-Man and, the Carnage, Maximum Carnage series, so much.
Captain America.
And it's not just to question anybody, but it's just some people, you're like, oh, you just fell into this bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to hit him with the Denzel Washington from Trading Day. I've been here. You know what I'm saying? So, the shit is what it is, but it's cool now.
Luke Cage ain't got nothing on me.
You know what I'm saying? To know about Heroes for Hire, to know where it came from, how it came to be because of the blaxploitation era. A lot of people don't know this. Now, I'm not, saying shitting on anybody, but don't act like you've been doing this.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with people falling into something and just becoming a fan of something. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But when people be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I always do about this shit. You want to look like, I'll slap the dog piss out you. But, so yeah, man.
I guess that was a big thing. Like, seeing that now and just looking at it, I was like, it's really cool to me because I remember going to Comic-Cons and always seeing, like, I would go with my buddy Teddy Tutson. Mm-hmm. And he would walk around, and every single time he saw another black dude, he's just like, oh, fuck. I always thought I was the only one. Because, once again, it's a dude who grew up in Texas. Bunch of white people, and he was a nerd, and a lot of people there aren't nerds. And it just... Openly, yeah. So when you come out to the coast, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, shit, this is... Mm-hmm. I was just wondering how cool it was, because a lot of my friends just said it makes them feel a lot more comfortable to be themselves now.
Yeah, I think that's all it is, really. It's just everybody just has fun doing it now, and just like, oh, I'm a nerd. So it's a cool gathering especially when it comes to Comic-Cons. I think it's always great when you see people who want to talk to you about nerd stuff. I actually had something that happened that was quite amazing to me. I got in an Uber. And my Uber driver, literally, I sat down, and he was driving, and he stopped and looked over, he was like, are you Jay Washington? I said, yeah. He was like, oh my God, you're one of my favorite people off Collider. He's like, I'm such a fan. Oh my God, I can't believe you're in my car. And I was like, cool, thank you. And then we proceeded to have an hour-long nerd discussion. There was a girl, I'm sitting in the front, because I was in the Uber pool, because I'm on the budget. And there was a woman in the back, and I guess she didn't know what the fuck was going on. Here's the problem. I tried to tell her, like, yeah, I don't even know what's going on because I plan on getting in this car and going to fuck to sleep. Just plan on going to fuck to sleep.
Anyways, I won't interview you on your own damn podcast anymore.
No, don't worry about it. It's fun. Go. But yeah, so how have you been? What's all going on with you? How's the commentating and stand-up?
Well, I just did the play-by-play for my first event, Maverick Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. The video will permanently be up on Twitch, Mav Pro Wrestling on Twitch. You'll be able to check it out. It actually went amazingly well. We had some last-minute drama, last-minute venue change, which kind of sucked a little bit.
Welcome to the world of pro wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. But
sounds like stand-up.
But as far as the show itself, man, it was absolutely incredible. Killer Cross is amazing. Chris Bay is in his first 2 years of wrestling. That dude's going to be a WWE superstar in the next 5 years. Nice. I can promise that. I think Killer Cross will be at the end of his career. I told you that before.
Yeah.
Told you the kid I saw, Max Vandegrift. He's in a tag team right now called Promised Land. It was their second match ever together. And these dudes stole the show. They had the match of the night. Cross and Bay put on a great match, but yeah, Promised Land. If you're on the independent circuit, you ever hear Max Vandegrift or Promised Land, they're worth checking out.
Nice.
They really impressed me. I told you earlier, I think Max Vandegrift could be the SoCal Rookie of the Year.
That's a lot. That's a heavy honor to have on anybody.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't, if the kid hears it and it doesn't be like, yo, I'm the Rookie of the Year. Hopefully it doesn't go to their head, because they can.
I hope so too. But he was a real quiet, calm. He seemed to have a good head on his shoulders. Mm. But yeah. They call him the flip artist, and he absolutely is a flip artist.
I have my thoughts on that. But for those who are new here, I could talk wrestling with Alex all day. If you know my history, I'm a pro wrestler 15, 16 years. Possibly getting back in the ring if I can find a place to train regularly and just get my feet wet and get my bumps back in because...
Last time we hung out, you gave me a flare chop to the chest.
Damn right I did. And I've been talking to so many people. I'm like, yo, I keep running into wrestlers or wrestling-related people. I was just at matter of fact, I was just at the premiere party for the movie I'm in, Glassjaw, which is out in select theaters across America. It's only select ones. But it's totally available right now on VOD. So Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, all those. You can get it, and the DVD will be available December 14th. Just as a quick plug, I'm in another movie. Also, another movie I'm in called Hunter just won Best Feature at the 2018 Freaky Awards.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Your boy's in several movies. I just want y'all to know that. Ha! I do this shit. No, but Alex Riley.
Yeah,
is in the film with me, and him and I have become cool since finding out we're in the film. And when you run into people, it's like, oh shit, the wrestling world keeps coming back, and now he's doing more acting and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get it. A lot of guys want to get out that business and go use it as a platform. Shout out to my bro David Tunga, who does that. But I'm not gonna talk wrestling all day. I have other places you can hear that. I get you caught up on everything in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. There is not a lot of Marvel news like I was going to tell you guys. It's not a lot. So I'm going to get right into it.
Unfortunately, I have a little bit that I can't talk about because I just might have worked on
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that after we get done recording because we're not going to have that out here. And this shit gets picked up by one of the outlets because a lot of people listen here. So, by the way, appreciate all the listeners who love this shit, what I'm doing, and love the fact that I keep it real and raw. If you haven't learned yet, I'm not going to pull any fucking punches. So if I think some shit sucks, it sucks. If it's good, it's good. If you're in your feelings, get the fuck on. All right. Marvel news. Tom Holland appeared on Jimmy Kimmel in the red and black Spider-Man suit. Now, I've talked about this if you heard the last episode where I did the crossover with Tom Tran. I kind of don't want spoilers like that. At this rate, we've seen 3 different suits he's going to have in the movie for Spider-Man Far From Home. And I feel like some of them should be a surprise. But I also understand that a lot of times people will see that they're filming and sneak a photo and put it out. And then the studio has to do damage control. And instead of letting a grainy photo come out, they have to show you the real thing. I get that. But it's like, god damn, police the area more. But nonetheless, he showed the suit. It doesn't look all high-tech as the Iron Spider suit, but it's a nice one. Oh, by the way, I should have had this up on the Mad Titan website. I'm the only one who does that. I'm busy right now. I'm trying to do both. So, yeah, that's happening.
I don't think the problem is Marvel. And Marvel is even
Sony too.
And so the problem is Tom Holland. It's part of the, he's not a nerd. He's not from this country. He isn't really into the comic book stuff very much. So I don't think he understands what spoilers mean. Because ever since they brought him on, I think Marvel is so happy with the Spider-Man that he is.
They don't care?
No, I don't think they don't care. They're just, it doesn't outweigh how much of a pain in the ass he is at everything else other than being Spider-Man. Like, releasing the front page of his script when they're like, keep this under wraps because people think you're gone right now.
Well, not even that. It wasn't even just that. He had already told well before Avengers that he had 2 more sequels coming out.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuck in people's mind anyway. It was like, well, no matter what happens in Infinity War, he's still going to be the fuck around. I think the issue is Tom Holland. I don't think he has to be a nerd. You don't have to be a nerd per se. I think the fact Tom Holland's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid who liked Spider-Man as a kid. I know he said that.
And all this stuff is really cool to him.
Yeah, you're a kid who liked Spider-Man. Now you're fucking Spider-Man. So, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but it's like, yo, you got to keep some shit quiet.
He's the biggest leak in the Marvel universe.
Between him and fucking...
Everything that comes out seems to come from Tom Holland. I remember when he posted that video of like, hey, I just got my script for the new movie. I have a friend who works at Marvel who's like, yeah, we lost our mind when he did that. That was the only thing we told him not to do. Don't go on your social media and show the script.
Yeah.
What's the first damn thing he does? Pulls up his iPad. It's going to be called Far From Home. God damn it, Tom.
Because then everybody had to start asking, once that happened, and then once fucking Infinity War was going on, so where does this take place? Does it come back? Is it between Infinity War and Civil War? Or between Infinity War and, Homecoming? I don't know. Nonetheless, they're not going to fire him.
No, they're not, because he's great, and that's the problem.
Because he's great at what the fuck he does. So, I mean, we just got to deal with it. He will be, again, he'll be back in Avengers 4, and he's officially wrapped on Spider-Man Far From Home, so that was the reason he was on the show, too, as well, to let him know they're officially wrapped, the movie's done. So, I'd say within about 3-4 months, we might get a trailer.
Do you ever feel sometimes, though, with some, especially the newer batch of Marvel stuff coming out, there's part of it is the story, and then so much of it is just like, hey, you remember this cool thing from the comic book? We're just going to show it to you. And that, I don't want that to take over the Marvel world, because they've done such a good job with the stories that lately sometimes it's just like, yeah, the story's cool, but also we got some cool shit we just want to show you for the sake of getting to see it.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
You mean like the fan service?
Like the red and black suit.
To do spectacular suit. Yeah, I agree with that. I think a lot of times they do that. I think they know that there's a fan base who's going to be upset if they don't include something from the source material. There's a lot of fans who are like, well, this should have fucking happened, this could have happened. And granted, I'm one of those people who know you cannot translate everything page for page onto the screen.
No, it doesn't work. They've tried it before.
It never works.
Never works.
It never works. So
that was basically what they did with Spider-Man 3, the worst Spider-Man. They took a bunch of source material, slammed it together, and it just was painful
it was
to watch.
Brutal. And so I think, they want to show you some things, but I think people just got to fucking chill, especially when it comes to comic book movies. Like, look, we're at a point in history we never thought we'd be. One company has given us 20 comic book movies.
Yeah.
20. Now...
And it's the owner of the source material, which is even crazier.
And not all have been home runs. Maybe 3 or 4, depending on what you feel. But for the most part...
Yeah, but there hasn't been
there hasn't been a bomb. There's not been a miss. They've been like...
Unless you count Iron Fist, but...
I mean, I'm talking about... That's not a movie.
Yeah.
That's not a movie.
Yeah.
Out of the movies, it's like... It's an acquired taste, because there are people who love Thor: The Dark World.
I really enjoy
There are people who love Iron Man 3. You know what I'm saying? I bring those up because those are two that aren't that strong and high on my list.
Agreed.
But people love them regardless. And so for them to do what they do, I mean, it's going to be a different situation every time. I don't think they're going to I don't think any movie is just going to be fan service. Let's say it like that. No movie is just going to be fan service and say, here, you want to see this villain? You want to see him do this? You want to see him do that? No, we're going to make it. If we do it, it counts and it matters and it works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Speaking of Avengers 4, Katie Langford from 13 Reasons Why has been cast in Avengers 4. And a lot of people thought she was going to end up becoming Clint Barton's daughter.
Yeah.
Well, now new rumors are pointing to the fact that she may be Tony and Pepper's daughter.
How's that going to work?
In the future.
Oh.
So, we already know that when Avengers 4 starts, originally I thought it was 15. It's 5 years in the future already. So... there's going to be different things that are going to affect time going frontwards and backwards. Because, again, we've seen the steals with them having the older suits, the Avengers 1 suits.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of time. Seeing her may be the reason they say Tony might have to sacrifice himself. Which, I don't know what's the reason going to be. I do know he's going to sacrifice himself. It's obvious. You know why? Because I've said this on everything I've done, from Heroes to podcasts and whatnot. There are 2 lines that have resonated throughout all of the Avengers films that tie Cap and Tony together. In Avengers 1, when Cap and Tony first started arguing, what was the one thing Cap told Tony? You're not the dude to lay down your life on the line and lay on the wire. And he's like, yeah, I'll just cut the wire. So Tony realizes he has to lie on the wire.
Yeah.
In Avengers Infinity War, the line with Cap and fucking Vision, we don't trade lives. He's going to have to trade a life. Cap always looks for the greater good.
There's a third line. There's a third line in there from Avengers 4, which you have to include then too.
What's the 4 line?
The Soul Stone.
Oh well, that's obvious. I mean, but that's not.
You got to give a life to get it.
You got to give a life to get it. Yeah, but that wasn't. But that doesn't affect. That doesn't. They don't know those two. Cap and Tony don't know those lines.
Yeah, they weren't there.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't there. Those lines specifically that I get what you're saying. The lines I was talking about, they know about those.
Yeah.
Cap's going to realize he has to trade a life. He's almost done it before in Captain America vs. Avenger.
Yeah.
Remember, when he took the bomber, he basically thought he was going to die.
He was putting his life on the wire.
Putting his life on the wire. He's going to have to do it again. Tony's going to have to do it this time too. And they'll do it together. Because they'll finally agree. They'll finally mesh out all their differences. They haven't been together in 4. They haven't been together since Civil War. They'll mesh out their differences.
I guess my big question was, is one going to have to kill the other to get... Is that how you get the Soul Stone?
No, so that's going to happen. That's going to happen in a whole nother way, I believe. I don't think those two... I think they'll have the gauntlet. Because I think they'll have the gauntlet, but I think something else happens to where they get the Soul Stone. I don't think it's so much as them trading their life for that. Because that would be if that happens, that's early in the movie and it's going to shock the shit out of people already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess, because that was you and me talked about this before, where it's just like, I could see the scene where they're standing there with Thanos, and Thanos is just saying, listen, you can't take this gauntlet off me because you'd have to get the Soul Stone. In order to get the Soul Stone off me, one of you has to sacrifice the other one. And I could just see Tony turning to Cap and going, I love you, and blasting his head off to get the Soul Stone.
I'm sorry for laughing, but that thought in my head was like, Cap, I love you. Damn! Just watching Steve Rogers' head explode like a gallon of fucking watermelon. Tell me nobody would turn around and go, damn!
Obviously, I don't think it'll happen just like that. Maybe throw a little zhuzh on it, spice it up a little. But the gist of the scene will be, when they find that out, they're going to realize one of us has to kill the other one.
Okay, I'm laughing my ass off, because in my head, I'm looking at Tony standing next to Cap with Thanos standing over him. And
you're like, one of you two has to murk the other one.
And
Sorry.
Tony just go, right in Cap's face. I'm sorry, that's the most sadistic shit ever. Speaking of Avengers 4, it is rumored we're scheduled to get a trailer next month in November. Now, for those of you who will be hearing it in November, we may have had the trailer already, but we will be getting a trailer for Avengers 4 in November, it seems. Which, I'm cool, and I know why they're doing it. Because this trailer guaranteed is going to be Captain Marvel heavy. Because you have to promote Captain Marvel.
Yeah, well, but also, I think one of the fears and why they've been holding out so long, because it's been shot for a long time.
Yeah, but remember, they did the whole...
We've already done temp ADR on it. Like, it's well in the works. Mm-hmm. I think that once this trailer comes out, there's no way to release the trailer without lots of at least giving you an idea of where the story's going.
No, I think Marvel is good at that, and I'll tell you why. The Infinity War trailer, we got a lot of major scenes we saw that never were in the film. The running scene through Wakanda with the Hulk and all them, never happened, and that was a big thing we saw.
That's true.
You know, the Rhodey, Black Widow, and freaking Banner on the roof, looking up on the rooftop. That was something we never got. Yeah. And we thought those were pivotal scenes. So I know those are only 2 scenes in a trailer, but I believe the Russos know what to do. And also,
I just think that, like, once it comes out, once we see that trailer, how do you cover up that this is going to be time travel? That they're going to go...
I mean, you can't anymore. You can't cover up the time travel in the past because of the stills that came out.
Yeah.
You can't cover that up. The time travel in the future is one thing. That's a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? You can't cover up the past because it's already been seen. Toys have given away a lot of spoilers with the spacesuits.
Yeah.
The toys have given away a lot of spoilers. So you might as well just say, fuck it, show it at this point.
Yeah.
There's certain things you can't pull back on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already been done.
True.
The toys are the worst.
Yeah, well, the toys changed everything. That once it became market first and then product second.
Right.
Because that was always, what's his name? The guy who owned Batman. I think he still does own Batman. The lawyer who bought it for like $250,000.
Yeah.
I remember he said, he's like, I was in a meeting and I was so angry because they were talking to me about toys and they hadn't even wrote the script yet. And then when they showed me the money that came in from toys, I realized why they go toys first, script second. But it also is a little frustrating. Because a lot of times it means that some of the toys might not be in the movie, and some of the writing for the movie might be just based on they could sell a toy for it. Yeah. It's a little frustrating.
I mean, I get that. And that's the reason for a lot of things that happen in comic book movies. Yes, merchandise. But
literally every Jurassic Park after the first one, that is why they were made.
Oh, of course. But it's just like, fuck. Lego, and even when the Stormbreaker toy came out last year, the Legos now have basically just shown, it's not much, but it shows you Barton as Ronan.
Yeah.
There's some toys that show Rocket and Thor in spacesuits. And so those are just a few things, but it is what it is. We're going to get it regardless. I just think when this trailer comes out, it's meant to focus on Captain Marvel, again, like I said, because she comes out in March. Remember, the Avengers Infinity War trailer changed after the success of Black Panther to prominently show you Wakanda and the Black Panther and everybody in the country.
Yeah.
So you don't have that luxury this time because we've already had our last movie in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So you don't have that luxury of showing something, of using a heavy movie like that, because Ant-Man and the Wasp is not the primary focus, even though it's going to be a big focus. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't as a blockbuster and captivating as Black Panther was.
Yeah.
So your next bet is going into the future, no pun intended, with your next film, with Captain Marvel. So you focus on her. You have a trailer. It focuses heavy on Captain Marvel. You see her beating some ass. You see her fighting Thanos, if anything, because that works. That is something we know that has to happen.
By the way, speaking of which, Rocket and Thor, maybe the best didn't expect to love them team.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy. Nobody expected that. But nonetheless, that's what we're going to get.
Great comic. It was the best comic relief in the movie.
Again, but that's what Chris Hemsworth loves. He loves being comedic. He's always wanted Thor to have a comedic tone, more so than just fully serious. And he would have left after Ragnarok had Ragnarok not had that comedic tone. So if y'all didn't know that, now I'm putting you on game. Ragnarok was going to be his... No, I think...
It was supposed to be his last movie.
It was going to be his last movie.
And the quote that he made at the end, he went, I can't be done now. We finally...
got it right.
We finally got it right.
We finally got it right.
Now I want to play this role. If this is the movies we're going to be making...
and this is the way my character's going to be, I'm fucking in for it.
Which I told you going in, I didn't want to see Ragnarok because I went, this looks like they're just doing a slapstick comic book movie. And that sounds dumb. Mm-hmm. And then I saw it, and it was a slapstick comic book movie, and I loved it.
But also, I trust Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
I trust Taika. So, but that's all. The Gifted, I did not see The Gifted this week or last week because I'm busy on Tuesdays. I'm trying to catch up. And look, all last I know is Reed Strucker is dealing with his mutant powers coming back, and he trying to suppress it. That's like, yo, we deal with this shit in history and in real life, which, by the way, I'm going to get into with some of this DC shit, but let me get to this news first with DC. Wes Anderson is going to direct an episode of the Arrowverse crossover. That is the most surreal shit to hear.
It's really cool.
Legendary film director Wes Anderson is going to do an epic crossover episode. I don't know which one it'll be. I'm assuming it might be the Arrow episode, but nonetheless, holy hell.
Yeah, Wes is a talented dude. I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. I'm just surprised because that's not his world. Like, it's kind of like...
I think that's how everybody feels. It's not... This isn't Wes Anderson's world. This isn't what Wes Anderson does. But, nonetheless, we're going to get it.
I guess that's the thing. It's like... it's intriguing. I don't know if I'm happy about it or not. Does that make sense?
No, I get it.
It's a head-scratcher.
I think for everybody it was. It is. I shouldn't say was. It is. And I think it's that whole... We won't know... Even with a trailer, we still won't really know. We won't get the full feel of like, oh, this is Wes Anderson's mold until we watch the episode.
And that's the other weird thing. It's television.
Yeah.
Like, this is... I'd have to check, but I don't think Wes has done television for 20 years.
It's been a while. I mean, since he's done it, and it's really interesting because once you switch to film medium, and that's what you stick with, you've now developed that style. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have. That's what you do.
Yeah.
To go back to television, especially with something you're not familiar with,
and the pace of usually, all right, so I've worked in television and movies my whole life. When we're filming a movie on set, we maybe will shoot 3-4 pages of script a day because they like to take their time. They got plenty of money. They have plenty of time. You're usually shooting for anywhere from 1 to 5 months. So you take your sweet time. Television, we're shooting 8.5 pages a day. We got to get the episode done filming in 8 days tops.
Yeah.
The pace is so much faster. It's not a pace that Wes is used to. To me, though, it goes, he must really want to do this.
Yeah.
If he's willing to put himself in such an uncomfortable
situation. Yeah.
Like, there's no way that this will be fun for him unless this is something he really
wants to do. I agree. In other DC news, we got another casting announcement for Swamp Thing. Gerald Prescott from The Walking Dead, she's been cast as Madame Xanadu in Swamp Thing, which I think is so dope because her arrival in the series when it debuts next year is following off the 40th year anniversary of Madame Xanadu's first appearance in DC Comics. Now, on the show, Madame Xanadu is a centuries-old immortal who will advise and align with Crusaders against evil, but is reluctant to join the fray directly. I am getting more and more excited for this show. This is the one I wanted to see more than Titans, I'll be honest. When you told me Swamp Thing was coming to TV, it's dark, it's R-rated, James Wan is behind it, I am all in.
Well, Swamp Thing has a legacy to me. Because I loved the original Swamp Thing television show.
I did too.
And I remember looking back and going, that show was darker than you thought because it was kind of a children's show.
It was a comic book show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that they're keeping it in that same vein, but updating it a little bit.
Well, again, it's the DC universe, and they are able to do more without any restrictions on it.
As much as DC is as much as they're doing shit in movies, they're killing it on TV.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Have some thoughts on things. Speaking of TV, Gotham's final season is premiering in July. Gotham's final season is premiering in January of 2019.
Thank God.
And there are some photos that have come out which appears to show Bruce in a prototype first bat suit, which is literally him in a fucking overcoat with a piece of a motorcycle vest in the front.
Do you want me to? You want to know what my problem with Gotham is?
Everything.
Well, I'll tell you. It's very simple.
Everything.
Gotham feels like a compilation of every deleted scene from every Batman movie ever, where they're like, oh yeah, why is this character like this? Well, because as a kid, and then when they were making the movie, like, ugh, we don't need this scene describing all this bullshit no one cares about. It's literally just like, oh, you remember the old Patton Oswalt bit about wanted to go back in time and talk to George Lucas, and he's like, oh, you like the Death Star? Well, now you get to see it when it's being built. I don't care about seeing it while it's being built. Oh, you know the Penguin? Well, now you get to see him when he was younger. I don't care when he was young. Oh, you know Poison Ivy? You get to see her as a disgruntled teenager. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
There's so many things, and they're like, oh wow, but when they were kids, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck. I want to see Batman kick some people's ass. I want to see Poison Ivy kiss some people and kill them. I want to see Penguin rob some banks. I don't care about where he got his disgruntled fucking personality from.
The Riddler is an incel. Cause that's what the fuck he is. Like, yeah, so what, he wants to fuck Lee. Lee ain't trying to fuck him. If she did, it was for once, and after that, she ain't giving him no more. Here's my problem with Gotham. I've said it every time. Gotham was meant originally to be the story of Jim Gordon and the GCPD. That was it.
Yeah.
The problem is, nobody gave a fuck about Ben McKenzie as Jim Gordon. You can say I'm right or wrong, but the reason the way they've switched the direction of this show shows what I'm talking about.
You're right, but your scope is wrong. Nobody gave a fuck about him, but the mistake that they made, they're like, well, they'll give a fuck about... No, we didn't give a fuck about anyone.
Yeah, this is true, because
there was nobody in that show that you really, truly like, oh, I give a... Well, I at least hope they... Even Bruce Wayne, you're like,
I was just saying,
shut the fuck up. You
like,
crybaby, bitch.
Yeah, like, yo, David Mazouz, look, I love what he does as an actor. I respect him. But the character... You whine way too motherfucking much to have $1 billion.
Yeah, it's like Michael Caine in the third Batman in Dark Knight Rises. Like, can there be a scene that he doesn't cry? Michael Caine cries in every fucking scene in that movie.
I failed you.
I failed you.
I failed you.
Rubies the size of tangerines. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
What if she had a note and said she didn't want to be with you? And because I love you.
I will give anybody that listens to this podcast, I will give you a crisp $20 bill if you could send Jay the line of dialogue in Dark Knight Rises that Michael Caine is not crying
in the beginning, when he was like, Master Bruce.
No, he's still choked up there. He cries at every line.
No, when he was like, where you go? When he talks to Selena, he's, where you going with that? You shouldn't be in the swing of the house.
Oh, that's right.
So,
okay,
that's what he does. Okay. But other than that, every time he's talking...
You can tell subconsciously, he's like, you can't go there because Mr. Wayne is there. Like,
he don't want to see nobody.
They just cut the line where he cries.
That shit was just so sad, him trying to cry over the graves of Thomas and Martha Wayne going, I failed you. I failed you.
But yeah, that's basically Batman in Gotham. He just cries every line. He's just like, oh,
I failed you.
Like, man, you are so rich. At a certain point, buck the fuck up.
You are the richest butler in history. Shut the fuck up. Yo.
And Bruce Wayne in Gotham, you're like, dude, you can afford all the therapy in the world. You don't have to be this sad. You can afford all the medication. Get you a serotonin booster. You'll be fine,
Which
man.
I never understood. Look, if you gonna be Batman, Bruce, why the fuck do you not have a great therapist on call? Just so you can keep your mental stability.
Yeah.
Because, nigga, you are 12. Like, you don't go to school. Bruce ain't even homeschooled no more. Like, Bruce should be technically dumb as fuck. All right.
Yeah, how is he a genius when this dude never goes? He doesn't deal with it. He should be the most kind of like on the spectrum weirdo.
That's
like,
clearly what this Bruce is. And listen, as a father of a daughter who's on the spectrum, I understand there are various degrees and grades and levels. Bruce is high functioning on the spectrum in Gotham. In Gotham. Because it's the only way to explain why the fuck he whines so much. Selena, you shut the fuck up! Nightwing and Wonder Girl are coming to Titans, and they're going to have some comic book accurate costumes. Now, there's been pictures, there's been rumors, going around about how Dick's Nightwing costume will look sort of comic book accurate because, of course, Jason Todd will take up the role of Robin. So there's no reason to have the two Robins roll around. However, we know what happens to Jason Todd. So that's going to be interesting to see. But... Yeah. It's weird because the whole Titans dynamic is weird. I'm talking about that later. But yeah. And also Wonder Girl, she's getting her comic book costume. But the thing is, she will have the two W's on there. She won't have the shield, if I'm not mistaken. But I think she will have the lasso, amongst some other things. And I'll talk about, like I said, Titans in a second to give my further thoughts. I just need to get that out.
Titans it's a standalone, not in the DC universe, correct?
And it's on the DC universe.
It's because... Obviously, it can't be in the same timeline. We have different Wonder Woman. That's the upsetting thing about DC is at least Marvel just went, no, everything's one universe, TV, movies, everything. Everything ties in with everything.
I cleared my throat because I'm figuring out how I'm going to say this without angering people, but go ahead.
With DC, I keep on having to bullet point everything of like, okay, this ties into this, but this one doesn't tie into that, even though there are characters that are the same.
There is a rumor that they are building to a Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the reason we're getting all these different universes. The rumor is they are going to actually introduce the multiverse in the Flash's movie. It will explain why there's
a different Flash on TV than in the movies?
Yes, all that. Supposedly, it is rumored that is what they are planning to do. So, if that be the case, I want to see them pull this off. But if they don't pull it off, see, the problem is you are going to need to bring in the TV people. Doing just the movies don't do it justice. It don't.
If you couldn't do Justice League right, I don't know that I have much faith for them to do much of anything right.
And again, for all my listeners who are waiting to be like, CJ, you just only shit on DC. I'm not shitting on DC. I've always said this. DC does amazing animated films. DC tried to be Marvel too fast when they didn't when they didn't look up and realize Marvel had spent time building their universe.
I want to amend what you're saying though real quick, because I don't think it's DC that's doing that. I think it's WB who's doing that.
Okay, more so. That's what I mean. Warner Brothers. When I say DC, of course I mean Warner Brothers being at the helm of it. They own it, which they may not for too much longer.
Well, that's the thing. Disney's smart. They let Marvel do Marvel because they know that they know it best. Disney, really all Disney did with Marvel is they went, let us show you the building blocks of how to make a great production company. Because that's what Disney does. Mm-hmm. They build great production companies that just run and turn shit out.
Yeah.
But what they don't do is go, let us teach you how to make the movies that you know how to make. They don't do that. And it feels like that's what WB is doing with DC. They're micromanaging how they make the movies, the stories they tell in there. They came into them and they were like, hey, everyone thought that your first few movies were too dark, so this one has to be funny. And then we had to deal with the Justice League where there were so many cheesy-ass post-it-on jokes.
My man! I'm sorry.
Like, it was, oh my God. When they pull apart the boxes and the first thing is my toes hurt. I don't even have toes and my toes hurt. And then Wonder Woman gives a, oh boys look to them. It's just, oh boys. Like, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Did she just really look at them after saving the world and go, oh boys? Like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious right now? Where the fuck did you come up with that idea? Like, literally, it felt like someone just went, hey, when this happens, we should see if we can steal a laugh. No!
Okay.
If it ain't organic, if it doesn't happen real, we don't need it.
So, let's go. Let's go to Supergirl.
You okay there?
No, because what the fuck? So, Supergirl's recent episode shows you the origins of Agent Liberty. Shouts out to the homie, Sam Witwer. It is very heavily focused on xenophobia. And here's the episode is primarily focused on xenophobia, which is against the aliens and whatnot. However, the timing could not have been worse with everything the country went through in the past week.
Yeah. And
immediately Supergirl airs on a Sunday following the shooting, the mass shooting, the terrible shooting in Pittsburgh. This is, I understand shows are scheduled. I understand that they're set to come out, and the only thing their networks can do is give you a warning like, yo, this may trigger you, for lack of better words. But damn, did they hit home. And that's one of the things I will credit Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, and them on with a lot of their shows in the Arrowverse, is they do not pull punches when they talk about current issues that affect us in America today and in the world, especially Supergirl. And I think the reason Supergirl does that a lot is because Supergirl is based off a character who is a reporter.
Yeah, well, I think a lot has changed, especially, like, if you look back, like, 2001 when 9/11 happened. Back then, man, they pulled a lot of stuff off TV because they were like, this is going to be triggering, we don't want to do this. I mean, you wouldn't see a television show that involved a plane crash for 2 years after 9/11.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, especially with social media and news happening so fast, so much happens. There's bad stuff every fucking day.
And the thing is, I think the fact is with that, not to interrupt you.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We're finally seeing it.
Yeah.
We've always been told. We've been told for years before social media. There's shit happening around you every single day throughout the world that you have no idea. Yeah. And I think the reason everybody's so terrified now going, oh my God, the world is so horrible now. The world has always been horrible. Yeah. It's just now the veil's been pulled from you see it.
And that's the whole thing, is that now that we do see it, now that it is so in our face. Back then, it was easy for them to go, oh my God, this terrible thing happened. Let's shield people from having to see more of that terrible thing. Now you can't shield them. So you had to make the choice to lean into the punch, for lack of a better phrase, to just go, okay, well, if you all are going to just know about this and there's nothing we can do to hide you from it, well, then let's give our take on it. Let's give our message on it.
Well, it definitely is that. But also, when you have someone like Greg Berlanti, who is a member of the LGBT community, who is a proud, open member of it.
Yeah.
And will make sure you know that the LGBT community exists. They deserve every right.
Yep.
And because of that, he will take that fight also into other discriminated minorities or, groups, and has zero problem with it. The issue of even Black Lightning has touched on it with the kids being in pods taken away and stuff like that. It is just really amazing how they do it. But sometimes, I even said this with Tom Tran, like the first episode, I get the story you're telling. I get the message you want to convey. I get you want people to know, look, this is what's happening, and we're going to discuss it in the show with the superhero. The issue is they beat you over the head with it. And that's a problem sometimes. You can let the message be known, but you don't have to keep being like, you need to hear it. You need to hear it. You need to hear it. Because a
lot of DC stuff, I always joke with friends. I'm like, it's like they wrote the theme on a brick and just want to beat you over the head
with it.
This is our theme. Do you fucking get it yet?
And I think we get it within the first 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be. If that's the overall arc of the episode, fine.
And also, and this is one of my bigger problems with it sometimes, is when you consider who their fan base is and the majority of what their opinions are. There's a lot of times where I'm like, if you're going to hit me that hard with a theme, it better be a hot take, not something that 98% of your audience already fucking agrees with.
And I think that's the issue. I think that's a small issue. And I don't think, I might be wrong, I don't think that they're reaching a brand new audience.
Yeah, I would be surprised if you had a non-progressive listening to this podcast.
I probably will, but they know how I feel. They're like, well, he's running these points, and I don't care your political affiliation. I just know if you voted a certain way and you support certain people, you're a fucking idiot. Because you can't say you don't support someone. You can't say you don't support some things and support others.
Yeah.
If you support that person, you support everything. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go on. Legends of Tomorrow. They came out with arguably the best season premiere I have ever fucking seen.
I haven't seen it yet.
You have to see it. From the trailers, they show you that they're in Woodstock. They show you there's a magical unicorn, and fuck, I want to say it. Spoilers, whatever. You just gotta deal with it. People know how I am.
By the way, they're doing He-Man, right?
On Legends?
No. They're doing a movie.
Yeah, but that's not in the realm of what we talk about.
Yeah.
So we got stay on fucking track.
So
the unicorn. So the whole thing from the season is now that magical creatures have been unleashed.
Okay.
If you remember the season finale of last year, Constantine brought the head of a dragon. Well, now there's a unicorn in Woodstock, which sounds beautiful. Free love, rainbows, colors, a motherfucking unicorn.
Yeah.
Until the unicorn is goring people and eating hearts.
What? That's awesome.
The unicorn is murdering motherfuckers. I was crying laughing. I was like, what the fuck? And then when the unicorn is like, if you try to run up on him, let's try to run up on him. The unicorn basically nuts. Rainbow glitter dust on them.
Oh, jeez, no.
Out the horn.
No.
It's just rainbow glitter. And it makes them hallucinate. Big Rory is talking to his dead rat friend. Fucking Nate is talking to his dad, which, by the way, is played by Tom Wilson, a.k.a. Biff Tannen. He is a great actor, a friend of mine. Tom is amazing.
You know Tom as well?
Yeah, I do.
I worked with him on Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah, man.
He's a good dude.
Constantine is fucking phenomenal. Matt Ryan can do no wrong in that role. He's amazing. But you find out he's got some issues. We don't know what it is, except for there's a demon chasing him. And the Ava Lance relationship. I'm here for Ava Sharp and Sarah Lance. Shouts out to Jess McCallum.
I do enjoy his Constantine better than I enjoy
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves' Constantine.
It's something more. I get it. Keanu Reeves gave us the character of life which we never thought we were going to have.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan upgraded it and just did something more. I love it. But Ava Sharp and Sarah Lance, their relationship is budding. And I love it. And shouts out to Katie Lotz and Brandon Ralph, who wouldn't tell me behind the scenes nothing about what was going to happen at the goddamn on the premiere. Y'all could have told me about this unicorn. If nothing else, you could have told me there was going to be a unicorn that murders people.
And nuts glitter out of its horn.
You didn't even have to say that. Just say there's a unicorn that murders people. And on Arrow, man, it's getting real interesting now. Oliver's still in prison. He's trying to adapt to life. The opening, I wish they wouldn't have did this, okay? You don't have the opening, my name is Oliver Queen.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. The intro this year is, my name is Oliver Queen. After 6 years of a vigilante, I found that the only way was to save my city was to reveal myself as the Green Arrow. Now my friends have to do all this and carry on my legacy. I am no longer a hero. I am now inmate 4587. It just sounds so cheesy, but like, I get why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now he done got a guard fired for prison shanking him when he shanked himself. He had to join a fight club almost. Diggle and his wife Lila have a mission for Argus where they bring Curtis along. Diggle thinks that Diggle's like, Diggle finds out that the information they found was co-opted. Find out as Lila co-opted it for some other shit. And he tried to check her like, yo, you just gonna steal the shit we got together? She was like, yo, I had another mission. He was like, you ain't gonna tell me? She was like, let me remind you. You were a vigilante running around these motherfucking streets for 2 years. I didn't know everything.
I have a theory about Arrow towards the end of the season.
What's the theory?
They're doing so much in the prison, so there's a saying in the film world. They're called bottle episodes. A bottle episode is where 60 to 80% of the episode takes place in one location that you own, usually on a soundstage, because it's cheaper to film there. And you do that so you could save your budget on that episode to do something bigger later.
Okay.
They're doing so much of that on this season of Arrow.
With the prison and
all the prison
and the basic sound stages that they already have?
I have a feeling that whatever they are planning for the last 4 episodes of this season is going to be expensive and huge.
Here's my problem with that. And it's nothing wrong with that. Your theory. Your theory sounds great. It's just that Arrow does this thing because it still has 23 episodes of having a lot of bullshit filler episodes that we don't need.
Yeah.
Arrow should go to 16 episodes like Legends and Black Lightning, and we'd be great.
Listen, the 23, 24 episode season, it's such a dead format. I don't understand why everyone should be going to 13.
I know why you do it. You want to know why? It's the quickest way to reach syndication.
Yeah, that's true.
All it takes 4.5. Once you get your 5th season, you got your 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Your money jumps up. So if you do 23 episodes, and people are like, wait, the math doesn't add up. You have to get in that season 5 to get the 100. Because
that's the thing though. If you get to season, like we're only in season 4 of NCIS New Orleans, but they got syndicated early.
I mean, and it's CBS, so
yeah.
That's a major company. But as a whole, no, I think they changed it. It was at 4 now. It used to be.
I think it's like 80-something episodes.
80-something episodes. Yeah, I'm sorry. They changed it. It used to be 100. Once you hit 80, you're good. So we're talking about a show that hit 80 midway through season 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they've been syndicated.
Yeah, so kick it back.
They're on season 7. 7.
But here's the thing. If you do 13s, you could do 2 seasons a year if you want, but you get yourself a season break to at least take some time off and refresh, and you could do 13-13 or 12-12.
They could. Also, Ricardo Diaz is this whole thing with the longbow hunters, and they go to try to find something, and they find blood samples, and Diaz takes the blood samples, and now he has superhuman strength. Nobody thought about AIDS. Nobody thought, you know what? Fuck it. The Flash. I didn't get a chance to catch the recent episode. All I know is from what I saw from some of the clips that I got a chance to glance over, They're doing great. I love the fact that they're going to have speedsters. You know, they got the whole Nora thing. She's doing her thing. I saw in the previous episode, I got to catch up an episode, and then I have to watch tonight's. Where'd they get that chocolate baby from for Seal and Joe? Baby's dark as shit. Baby's a beautiful chocolatey baby. You know, you ever remember the movie Life? Who the daddy that chocolatey baby? You know who the daddy that chocolatey baby? So, I mean, I got to catch up on that. Black Lightning. Tobias Whale is finally arrested, and the greatest thing ever. So early in the episode, Henderson comes to Jefferson's house to let him know some things, and Jefferson was like, yo, can we talk about this? You know what I'm saying? You know me, Black Lightning. We need to sit down and talk. And Henderson like, yeah, one day, fam. And walk off on him. Later in the episode, at the end of the episode, Henderson comes and tells Jefferson, yo, I just wanted to let you know, we got him. We captured Tobias. And it's great until you look at Jefferson's face like, nigga, I wanted to catch him. What the fuck? And also for him, it means, what is Black Lightning's purpose anymore? Because he's always said, the purpose of being Black Lightning is to catch Tobias, who killed my father. You know, shouts out to Crest the homie. But it's getting good, man. Also, we saw the debut of Perina, played by Erica Alexander, how she tries to help Jennifer control her powers and teaches to put it in the box. Put it in the box. Look, I just want y'all to know I have none of these little puns and quips written down. This shit is popping in my head. I'm high off kombucha. Oh shit, Titans to close it out. Let's talk more about Titans. This recent episode, after we saw Dawn, aka Dove, get thrown off a fucking building, she's in the hospital in intensive care, which I don't know how. Like, she was bleeding out everywhere. You get a lot of flashbacks to Dick being adopted by Bruce, which they said we are going to get Bruce Wayne and we're going to see Batman of some sort in this. I don't want to, especially if the pictures that they have or the behind the scenes stills of Batman. I don't want to see it. Yeah. Raven officially gets taken over by a demon, which I'm kind of confused about this whole thing. Raven is 14 years old. Yeah. So clearly this is why we're not calling them Teen Titans. Because Starfire is a grown-ass woman alien. Dick Grayson's a grown-ass man boy. Beast Boy is just a boy. Which, by the way, here's another problem I have with Beast Boy in the show. We only saw him once in episode 1. We didn't see him in episode 2. He appears back in episode 3. And he sees Rachel at a bowling alley playing an arcade game. They flirt with each other. It's like, all right, cool.
I've only seen a little bit of it. It almost feels at times like it's just trying to do too much.
It is.
It's all over the fucking world.
Well, here's another problem. Beast Boy is supposed to be able to change into a variety of animals at any single time. The only animal they've shown him turn into is a tiger. If that is the only animal he turns into this whole season, that is pointless.
Yeah. Because
in the very first episode, you see him at the end of the episode, the tiger is in an electronics store stealing video games. I want you to hear that again. The tiger is in an electronics store stealing video games. And the security guard...
Are you going to stop a tiger?
Just look... No. What you do is you shoot that motherfucking tiger. I shot the shit out of him.
And not even felt bad about it?
No, fuck no! Nigga, it's a tiger! Oh, you fuck the ASPCA. What you gonna do? You gonna try to say, here, kitty, kitty? Fuck that kitty. That bitch would be a rug. My issue with that was, why not have the monkey steal the video games?
Yeah.
So then he changes back. In episode 3, he doesn't change. But he ends up seeing what's going on with Raven and stuff like that. And the next clip, they just show him as the tiger again for the next episode, where he's going to introduce the Doom Patrol. And I'm like, this makes no sense. Beast Boy should be able to change it to a variety of animals. And the way they did the metamorphosis with him as the tiger was, it looked like it just changed his bone structure and it hurts. Or your budget isn't big enough to fucking do it. So, Starfire has a base of operations, she finds out, and it's a storage unit. And of course, she has a lot of goddamn amnesia, so she don't remember anything, but she just sees her foreign language, and she just knows how to speak it. which is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Overall with Titans, I think they try too hard to be too edgy.
I feel like I have to watch it with a legal pad to keep notes on what the fuck is going on, so I can, because there's too many scenes in that where I just go, oh yeah, that's because of the, and that's my biggest.
Go ahead.
Too much going on.
Again, my biggest thing is,
do you ever feel like when you're watching that show that something happens and you feel like you need to rewind
to see exactly what just happened? Yes. Yes. A lot of times. Raven got kidnapped by the nuns in the convent she used to work at. One of the nuns drugged her and basically roofied her and put her to sleep. And they put her in a room and locked her up and thought that was going to be the best thing to save her, till the demon side of her was in the mirror, was like, bitch, who going to save you now? Which I was like, yo, demon side real angry and aggressive.
Well, it is a demon side. That's kind of the...
Yeah, this is true. But, that happens. And so it's so much. The reason that, because supposedly she's the destroyer, she's the destroyer of worlds, who will bring forth basically Satan. And so I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I understand the whole mystical element with her, but
too much.
I just don't
care.
No, I just don't know. And it's because they already got a season 2, and the season 2 is gonna be fucking the Judas Contract. Which, it hurts me hearing that. Why? Because the Judas Contract involves my favorite villain of all times, Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. Which is why it hurts, because I'm pretty goddamn sure, even it might be, I don't know, but it might be, but it's probably not gonna be Manu Bennett, who made him a fucking amazing character in Arrow. It's the same people.
I guess my bigger thing is if Legion has taught us anything, it's that you don't have to make sense to be a good show. That show makes no fucking sense.
But Legion is the greatest shit ever. Legion is the only show you have to sit up and watch and literally pay full attention to.
So you can be confusing. You can have deep, weird, awkward messages. It just needs to be good. And that's the thing. It's like with Titans, they're going, you don't have the good yet. There's nothing drawing me in. Legion draws me in.
Legion draws me in because I actually have to put my phone down.
Yeah, you do.
To watch it. I can watch it.
That's another one you have to watch with a legal pad, but I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I watched that show and
when those dudes crawl out of the hole and fight, I was like, I don't know why the fuck this is happening.
But with Titans, it's just like, the fuck Batman was just to say fuck Batman. The episode with Hawk and Dove was just to have Hawk just say motherfucker, fuck, motherfucker, fuck,
yeah.
Fuck you, bitch, you mother. Hawk sounded like a 90s gangster rapper without any beats. Without any beats. I mean, that's pretty much what he sounded like. So, that pretty much wraps up everything I got on this week in the rundown for the episode. Alex, what's going on with you, man? What you got coming up? How can the people find you? All that good stuff.
You can find me on social media. My name, Alex Mandelberg, Mandelberg. Hopefully at the next Maverick Pro event, you can check us out on Twitch, Mav Pro Wrestling, one word. We don't have a date set for it yet, but I'm sure it'll be up there once we announce. Other than that, clubs and colleges all over the country telling these jokes. That's it.
I really don't have much set for this week. Halloween, I'll be out in these streets trying to be somebody important. I am going to the Celebration of Life for John Schnepp on the 4th at UCB. I thought I had a show on the 1st or something like that, which means if I do, y'all will find out about it as soon as I found out about it. But nonetheless, let's do it like this. That's what I'm doing. I'm on Nerdist News Talks back at 12 Pacific on the 1st. Then at 4 p.m. on the 1st, I'm on Movie Talks on Screen Junkies. That's what I'm doing. Anything else, check out my website, jwashington.com. Check out the website for the podcast, madtitancast.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Follow me on Stardust at Mr. J Washington. My YouTube channel, JAY Washington 80. And I think that's about it. So with that being said, we have wrapped up episode 8 of the Mad Titan podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J Washington. I want to thank my guest, Alex Mandelberg, for coming to hang out with me, even though he was hungover as shit. He's here. We do this for the people. But I appreciate you being here, brother. Shit. Shout out to everybody from Nerd Jabber. If you're following me and listening from Nerd Jabber, I appreciate you all. I don't know why the fuck I just saluted my computer. I did that. I literally did that.
I saw it.
I will holler at you guys next week. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.